2018 CDL General Knowledge Exam, Practice, Study Questions, and Answers. Which of these statements about engine overheating is true? You should never remove the radiator cap on a pressurized system until the system has cooled. Correct. You should never remove the radiator cap on a pressurized system until the system has cooled. You are driving a truck with a manual transmission. You have to stop the truck on the shoulder while driving an uphill grade. Which of these is a good rule to follow when putting it back in motion up grade? Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. That is correct. Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. A vehicle is loaded with most of the weight on the steering axle. What may result? A vehicle is loaded with most of the weight on the steering axle. What may result? Hard steering and possible damage to the tires. That is correct. Hard steering and possible damage to the tires. You are driving a 40-foot vehicle at 50 miles per hour. Driving conditions are ideal. Dry pavement, good visibility. What is the least amount of space that you should keep in front of your vehicle to be safe? 5 seconds. That is correct. 5 seconds. Which of these is a good thing to do when steering to avoid a crash? Do not turn any more than is needed to clear what is in your way. That is correct. Do not turn any more than needed to clear what is in your way. You are checking your wheels and rims for a pre-trip inspection. Which of these statements is true? Rust around the lugs may mean they're loose. That is correct. Rust around the lugs may mean they're loose. You do not have a hazardous materials endorsement on your commercial driver's license. You are asked to deliver hazardous materials in a placard vehicle. You should refuse to haul the load. That is correct. Refuse to haul the load. As the blood alcohol concentration, BAC, goes up, what happens? Judgment and self-control are affected. That is correct. Judgment and self-control are affected. If you need to leave the road in a traffic emergency, you should avoid braking until your speed has dropped to about 20 miles per hour. That is correct. Avoid braking until your speed has dropped to about 20 miles per hour. Which of these statements about downshifting for a long downhill grade is true? It allows engine compression and friction to help slow down the vehicle. That is correct. It allows engine compression and friction to help slow down the vehicle. When looking ahead of your vehicle while driving, you should look back and forth, near and far. That is correct. Back and forth, near and far. Escape ramps are used to stop runaway vehicles. That is correct. They are used to stop runaway vehicles. Which of these statements about cold weather driving is true? Windshield washer antifreeze should be used. That is correct. Windshield washer antifreeze should be used. When should you wear seat belts? Anytime you are moving in a vehicle. That is correct. Anytime you are moving in a vehicle. Controlled braking is used to keep a vehicle in a straight line when braking. That is correct. It is used to keep a vehicle in a straight line when braking. How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? Stop accelerating. That is correct. Stop accelerating. Which of these is not a good rule to follow when caring for injured at an accident scene? Keep injured persons cool. That is correct. For your safety, when setting out reflective triangles, you should hold the triangles between yourself and oncoming traffic. The most important reason for being alert to hazards is so you will have time to plan your escape if the hazard becomes an emergency. That is correct. You will have the time to plan your escape if the hazard becomes an emergency. Hydroplaning is more likely if tire pressure is low. That is correct. Is more likely if tire pressure is low. If you are being tailgated, you should increase your following distance. That is correct. Increase your following distance. Which of these statements about overhead clearance is true? The weight of the vehicle changes its height. That is correct. The weight of a vehicle changes its height. Which of these is a good rule to follow when using a fire extinguisher? Aim at base of fire. Aim at base of fire. While driving, you see a small 1-foot square cardboard box ahead in your lane. You should steer around it without making a sudden or unsafe move. That is correct. Steer around it without making a sudden or unsafe move. Is it legal to drive with 1/4 of a vehicle's leaf springs broken or missing? No. That is correct. No. Which of these can cause a fire? Loose fuel connections, underinflated tires, electrical short circuits? All answers are correct. All answers are correct. That's correct. Dry bulk tanks and hanging meat are unstable loads. That is correct. They are unstable loads. Which of the following should you not do in the event of hydraulic brake failure? Shift up. That's correct. Do not shift up. To correct a drive wheel braking skid, you should counter steer. That is correct. You should counter steer. Which of the following statements about tank vehicles is true? Special skills are required to haul liquid tanks. That is correct. Special skills are required to haul liquid tanks. If you are driving a long distance, you should stop often and take short breaks before you feel really drowsy. That is correct. You should stop often and take short breaks before you feel really drowsy. Which is true about a vehicle with a high center of gravity? The cargo should be rearranged so that the heaviest parts of the cargo are under the lightest parts. That is correct. The cargo should be rearranged so that the heaviest parts of the cargo are under the lightest parts. To prevent skidding, you should adjust to conditions while driving. That is correct. You should adjust to conditions while driving. You should back and turn toward the driver's side so you can watch the rear of the vehicle by looking out the side window. That is correct. So you can watch the rear of the vehicle by looking out the side window. When you check the condition of visible parts during your pre-trip inspection, make sure that the blank are secured against snagging, rubbing, or wearing. Airlines and electrical wiring. That is correct. Airlines and electrical wiring. With a BAC of blank, most people lose consciousness and some die. Point 4. That is correct. Point 4. The distance your vehicle travels from the time your eyes see a hazard until your brain recognizes it is called perception distance. That is correct. Perception distance. Which of these items is checked in a pre-trip inspection? Whether or vehicle lights are working and clean, cargo securement, wiper blades. All of these are correct. I'm going to go with that one. That is correct. All of these are correct. The reaction distance is the distance traveled from the time the brain tells the foot to push the brake pedal to the time the foot actually pushes the pedal. That is correct. The brain tells the foot to push the brake pedal to the time the foot actually pushes the pedal.